Hello, it's your host with the most, Judichu, aka Judas Connor Moon, aka Moodus, wherever you know. The nostalgia critic I remembered so Moo don't have to. Whatever nomenclature you want to call me. Hope you guys and gals are doing well. Fantastic on this beautiful day. And as you can see, the topic of today's video will be just me rambling about Dexter Original Sin. Nothing too strenuous or deep, just something I enjoy. I start with the prequel because I don't have that much to say about it. I'm just gonna go with things off the top of my head because I don't. It wasn't that memorable, unfortunately. Sad to say, because I love the Dexter series. Me and my family, me and my mother and my brother, we've watched all of it pretty much together. So who would have thought a serial killer would bring a family together? But I'll just start this. I'll preference this with I discovered the show because our cable provider sometimes will like have a month before, or at least when they weren't stingy. Here's a month of HBO for free. Here's like 3 weeks of Showtime with Cinemax for free. Here's the movie channel for like 3 months for free. Here's Epix, the movie channel, for 5 months for free. Whatever the case may be, right? So that they can have you just get like a taste, and then if you want to subscribe to the package, you can get it, or you may not want it. You know how that may be. So I want to say around season 3, which is the Skinner, I saw like an episode. I was like, okay, I like this show, but I was a kid, and I couldn't afford it, or at least at that time we couldn't. Or my mom would have. My mother, like, why are we watching this? Especially back then, because the show was just relatively new. Probably back then, maybe she would have, because she really likes Dexter. Anyway, I just let it slip my mind. So the show reappeared when Netflix started, and like the first like couple months it started allowing you to stream Dexter was one of the first things on Netflix so that you can watch. And that's where I discovered Dexter, and I've been a fan pretty much ever since. I know the series is based on a couple of books. I haven't read those books myself. I'm not a nerd. I only read comic books. Less dirty literature, of course. So I can't say for certain that this is in the book, this isn't in the book, or this character is accurate, not, these things happen. I can't say for myself unless one day I read those books. But as for the show and the universe that this show is built on, Dexter Original Sin, it was all right. I'm glad that it kickstarted off a better series, but we'll get into that when we get to Dexter Resurrection. So, without further ado, get your popcorn, get your friends, get your family, get your animals, get your snacks, get your blankie, or wherever you may be resting, and just sit back and relax and enjoy and hear me ramble and rave about Dexter Original Sin. See, we got some Spooderman. I beat up the Taskmaster in this footage, which is probably the most proud. We'll get to there when you see it. So, starting off, I'm going to say that Dexter Original Sin has some pretty good acting. I can't say the actors were bad. I mean, like, for example, the people playing Sergeant Angel Batista. I don't think Dokes was in the show. Harry Morris, played by Christian Slater, was really good. Deborah Morgan, Harry Morris. Harry Morgan, played by Christian Slater, played very well. I would have preferred Ajax from the Warriors, but in its own way, it's like it's in the Dexter universe, but it's like a Splinter universe because that's technically not Dexter's dad, but the same events kind of happen, kind of not really. So this is like an alternate universe Dexter. It's not. I wouldn't even consider it things that happen to Dexter happen, but I wouldn't say it's in the same continuity. Oh, because allow me to explain. In the original show, they have flashbacks of Dexter doing certain things that happen in this show. So I like to think that's the main continuity. And again, they have the same things happen to this Dexter and his family, but not necessarily the same. It's the same way in the Spider-Verse movies, apropos of me playing the game, where something happens in Peter's dimension that may happen in Miles, but they're just slightly different. And that's why I would say this show is for the diehards, not for someone. If you're just starting out with the show, you don't have to watch this. To be quite honest with you, if I was y'all, if you wanted to start watching Dexter, I would just Dexter season 1 through 4, go right into New Blood, right into Resurrection. Skip season 5 through 8. In my opinion, season 5 sucks. Season 6 sucks. Season 7 mediocre. Season 8 was mediocre. But we'll get into Dexter because I can talk about the original show forever. This show, I'll right now go into the besides the acting. It's good. Patrick Dempsey's in it. I know that he's famous from Grey's Anatomy, so and he's in the movie Freedom Writer, so I know women like him. So if you're a woman who like Patrick Dempsey, by all means, watch this. The woman who plays Deborah Morgan, which is Dexter's sister, I like her. Swears a little too much. She she's about 80% what I would assume Deborah Morgan would be as a young adult, but like teenager. Not I would say like they say comic accurate. No, that's why I would say it's like a spinoff. She's almost Deborah Morgan, but she's not. The same way Christian Slater's almost Harry Morgan, but he's not. The people, like I said, the person who plays Angel Batista. I forgot the guy, the blood analyst that works with Dexter. I can't think of his name, but he's funny. He's really good in the original show. He's one of my favorites, and him and Angel are the only two, and Dokes. Well, Dokes. Well, we'll get to that later. Those two were always kind of like iffy on Dexter because they're smart. They're cops and blood animals. They're really good at what they do, but not in the show. They're like goofy. They're just played for comedy relief. So if that's what you want, that's cool. I can't even think of the guy's name. Oh my goodness, he's the blood analyst. He's really good. The actor who plays him is very accurate. He's the best actor out of all of them because he plays him to a T. I can't think of his name. It starts with an M. If you guys and gals seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to think who else. There's a cop that Harry Morgan's partner. He's cool. He smokes a lot. I can't think of his name either. He's all right. Needed Dokes, in my opinion. If I remember correctly, he's not in the show. They probably would have introduced him later on, but unfortunately, the show's been canceled. Spoiler alert. So there probably won't ever be a resolution to a lot of things that happened. As you can see, this is the Taskmaster fight. Oh wow, I should have missed that. The ending of this fight is pretty cool. I was proud of it myself. So I know I'm like interrupting my Dexter rant to talk about Spooderman, but he is my favorite superhero. Love the battle suit as well. In this game, the battle suit you get from Black Cat because she likes Peter Parker in black. They didn't have the symbiote suit because in the comic she loves the symbiote suit so much she makes a cloth version. But in this game, she makes this battle suit that comes from a Deadpool comic, which I like a lot. The black and red, it makes you look like a Black Widow. Like, look at this. Off the building, smack the life out of him like I'm Dennis Rodman at the rim. You ain't getting that rebound, boy. Going back to the Dexter Original Sin, I'm sorry, I'm nerding out over Spooderman. I'm more excited for the Spooderman beating up of Taskmaster than Dexter Original Sin, but that's just because the writing of the show wasn't that good. So the acting is good. Probably the best thing. The intro of the show is iconic. They kind of like remade it. That's why again, it's like almost Dexter. That's why it's like a splinter. It's like like when they say this is 1985 and this is a 1985 year and Marty. That's literally they're an alternate 1985. Well, we can get into the plot of the show. So the plot of the show, starting on as a serial killer, blood analyst. Spoiler: Dexter is a serial killer. If you may not know. So, with that being said, And I'm like, you're probably like, oh, that's just I remember, but a lot happens. Yeah, a lot happens. It explains Dexter's origin for like a third time. I'll just spoil it because it's been talked about to death on the show. Dexter and his brother come from a woman that, let's just say she's a lady of the night and happens to work for some very dangerous people. Let's say in like organized crime. And in this show, they set up that Harry Morgan is using her for an informant, and eventually they find out. And just like in the show, Dexter and his brother were witnesses to their mother's death with the chainsaw in a shipping freight container. And as he articulately puts in the show, he was bathed in blood. Him and his brother, born of this darkness, as he would say. And they were left there for hours. And then Harry Morgan finds him, and he essentially saves Dexter. But at this point, if I remember correctly, Harry Morgan was just like a standard police officer in the show, in the original show. In this timeline, he's like a detective already. He's not even like a standard, desk cop or patrol officer, as you will, because he's already using her for information to arrest these people. As I explained, they found out, they kill her, so he feels responsible. So he takes in Dexter and his brother. Dexter is like 1 or 2 years old. He's young, so he's traumatized, but not in the same way his brother is. His brother witnessed everything, so he's like, let's say 7 or 8, and he's manifesting all this dark energy. He's uh showing it through violence, through like art. He's being cold and like not emotional, pretty much setting up what he's going to become in the future. I'll get to that in the spoiler section. So he keeps Dexter, who's still a baby, and because his wife and him have been trying to have a child forever, but she's unable to conceive, so they keep Dexter and get rid of his brother because at this point they actually do have a child, which becomes Devin Morgan. And Dexter's brother's trying to do bad to the baby, and they're like, okay, you got to get this fucking kid out the house. He's bad. So they give him up for adoption in this universe, and it sets up the who he's going to become. So where the show, I want to say, really begins is where Dexter gets his first kill. They do this in the original series as well, where Dexter kills a woman, doctor or nurse. Um, his father's in hospice because he has a bad diet. He had like a heart attack, and he's literally dying. He's on death's door, but he was strong enough to make it. But instead of like recovering and getting healthy to be able to make like strides to leave the hospital, he's only getting worse. And at first, Dexter has his suspicions, but it's becoming more and more obvious that whatever the syringe that this nurse is putting into his father's IV is making him ill. So much so that even Harry Morgan's Christian Slater in this universe is like, Dexter, your code, it's okay. He's been trying to like quell and trying to suppress those feelings that Dexter's been having to hurt people. But this is the first time Harry Morgan's like, yeah, you can please save me. She's killing me. So this is where the development of the code, where Dexter only goes after bad people, serial killers, sickos, as Cobra so pointedly put it, and drug abusers, well, not drug abusers, but drug peddlers, traffickers, all the worst of the worst. This is where he starts developing this code, and they show this in the show a little bit, not really. And I'm like, okay, the show did it better in like 10 seconds, and it was kind of funny because they put Dexter in a really bad way, but it's hilarious. They almost played almost to a T like they did in the original with a little bit more detail. Essentially, this woman's an angel of death, and she feels like she's freeing these pained souls, these people that they are literally on death's door. She's freeing them and allowing them to get to heaven. So that's why Dexter coins her like an angel of death. And she's one of the few people that's on Dexter's kill table who has, if I remember correctly, no mercy. Most of the show and most people that get on Dexter's kill table are like, "Oh my god, oh my, where am I? I can't believe it. I'm sorry." They sometimes they're like, "Oh yeah, they deserve it," but this woman is just cold and callous. She has no remorse for what she's doing, which allows Dexter to realize, "Damn, maybe I did do the right thing, even though killing people isn't the right thing." It's the first time he's questioning. am I doing the right thing killing these bad people? Because she didn't have any remorse for the people she's killed, and she's killed hundreds. She had a whole trophy list of patients that she's killed. Dexter finds out. So he, in a way, he did do the right thing. That's why people, as myself, like him. He's an anti-hero because Dexter kills innocent people sometimes too, just inadvertently, on purpose. Because the whole, like, his whole goal, they don't really explain it, and this is why I don't consider really. Maybe they would have continued the show on in the continuity. The one thing Dexter always talks about is not to get caught. That's number one of the code. Do not get caught. And Dexter will do anything and everything to do that, including killing innocent people or having innocent people getting killed or captured to allow his innocence. It's bad, but it's just one of those things you have to do to survive, especially when you're someone of his stature, right? As a Bay Harbor butcher. So that happens, and then Dexter has a love interest in the show. He has a love interest throughout the entirety of the series. Dexter is like fucking Matt Murdock. He gets around, and it's weird too because he's one of his favorite people, and they make references in this show and in the entirety of the series. One of his favorite people is Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. He uses the Patrick Bateman alias to get like things. It's pretty much his, again, his alias. So I guess you can say it makes sense because Patrick Bateman got around as well, but he didn't use women to the extent of how Dexter uses. Dexter uses women, not to say he doesn't like some of these women or fall in love with some of these women. He uses women as like a cover, like a mask, as you will, to look normal. When in reality, sometimes he's just cold and callous. This show tried to portray Dexter as like, playboy, and women flirt with him and he flirts back. I wasn't really okay with that. I guess I would have liked this show if he was just like what would be a good term? Like he was just hovering like a helicopter parent, but not for it. Literally, he was just hover over his dad, Harry Morris. Doesn't really happen that much. It needed more Harry Morris Dexter interaction. Dexter, just by happenstance, is trying to like flirt with this woman who's his sister's friend and all. Like they go to a party. She's still like a teenager, like 17, 18. She goes to like a frat party, and they try to take advantage of her, of course. Frat boys, they're being sickos, obviously. And his sister's friend, if I remember correctly, is like, "Hey, Dexter, they have your sister," and so he goes and saves her. And he almost violently stabs this guy, but he resists his dark urges. And this is when Harry's like, "I'm proud of you, Dexter. You didn't," because his brother previously would have manifested and just done everything bad to that person if he would have been given the opportunity. But Dexter resisted, and this is where he's proud of Dexter. He's like, "Wow, good, you did good by saving your sister and doing good by not hurting that person as bad as you did. I'm proud of you. You're a good son, and I love you." And, X, Y, and Z. And that's like when Dexter, because there's one person Dexter really loves, two people, it's his sister and his dad, and eventually his son. Oh, I wasn't call him Garrison. That's not Garrison. Oh my God, I do know his son's name. I can't think of it. Harrison. Harrison. Yeah, his name is Harrison, not Garrison. Sorry, I'm thinking of South Park. His son Harrison. He loves him the most out of everyone. But we'll get to that when we get to Dexter. So he loves her, and he's like, I'm proud of you being her protector, and nonetheless, and just try not to act on those dark urges, and just continue to do the right thing. I'm like, okay, that's cool, I guess. That was a good story arc for Dexter. But Dexter eventually kills someone on this show. I forgot who, and he takes something because this is before he gets the blood slides. Because Dexter's trophies, because all they established in this series, every serial killer has trophies, every single one of them. Kind of like in real life, where like Ed Gein would take skin of. Well, he was a grave robber. He really didn't kill people. He killed like two people. So I went, okay. Jeffrey Dahmer had people in his fridge, as you know. Ted Bundy had, and the I want to say even had pictures. Ted Bundy had pictures. The bodies were under John Wayne Gacy's house. Night Stalker had images. The guy that was on the dating game was a serial killer. Had images of women. Like they were trying to establish, like, just like in real life, they collect trophies of all their victims. Dexter's his blood slides, but this series, when he kills the lady, he takes one of her earrings or rings or whatever jewelry, and her sister pawns it off, and that's one of the big cliffhangers of the show. It's like, oh my God, Deborah got herself involved. Where did you get that earring from? It's from a murder victim or whatever, a missing person. It was a mediocre plot device. I mean, it was a MacGuffin. It was memorable enough in the show, but it wasn't built up. I'm getting to the spoiler section here, so if you guys do want to watch the show, by all means, you can click off here if you haven't. Continue. Dexter's brother is the ice truck killer from the series. He's a serial killer in and of itself. You see hints of him in the show. He's essentially stalking his brother, and not in the cool way. I mean, stalking's not cool by any means. Actually, stalking is fucking creepy. And one of my favorite horror movies in all time, and I consider the scariest movie of all time, Rosemary's Baby. If you watch that movie, there is a yellow beetle that follows Rosemary throughout the entirety of the movie. Everywhere. Parked on the street, on the corner, behind her driving. Everywhere in this fucking movie, that yellow beetle is following Rosemary. And that scares the shit out of me. The same, and going off on a tangent of Rosemary's Baby, because the people in the apartment are stalking her because they know Rosemary is the harbinger of the devil. She has the baby of Satan because she was essentially violated by him legitimately, not in like a dream. Like people say, oh, it's just for. She's literally saying, oh, I can't even think of her name, the actress, Faye, whatever. I can't think of her name. I do. She's literally sure. Oh my God, this is real. This is happening because all the tenants of the apartment are holding her down, and she's getting violated by the devil. It's fucking horrifying. Her husband and all these old people are like, "Oh, drink this green beverage, Rosemary. Drink that. Eat this. Don't do that. Don't say prayers, Rosemary. That horrifying. That shit scares the shit out of me. Same with Eyes Wide Shut. Another movie about stalking. Throughout the entirety of Rosemary, Eyes Wide Shut, there's these two old men in the entirety. I was rewatching it, and yes, these two old men follow Tom Cruise throughout from the beginning, from the ballroom to where he's walking the streets to the end, where essentially they take those two old men take their daughter, the Tom Cruise character and the Nicole Kidman. They essentially take their daughter because when they're in that toy store, they follow her everywhere until 1 second they both turn their head before the movie cuts. The daughter has been taken by those old men that have been stalking her. Creepy. Not done like this, though. This is just, oh, his truck's there. Oh, he's in the window. He's watching. Very, very, very mediocre. I wasn't a fan of it. I mean, it's cool that the Ice Truck Killer is going to be, we're trying to build that he's going to be the big bad that Dexter's going to be hunting throughout the entirety of the series. No. There is way better killers that Dexter could have been the big bad of the series. I'll give three examples. In the main show, there's the Tooth Fairy, that Dexter, that's in Florida at that point. He could have been the big bad. He's been killing people for years. The Trinity Killer, which is the best killer in the entirety of the Dexter franchise, could have been Patrick Dempsey. He should have been, if you were going to keep him on the show, he should have been the main bad. Spoiler, he is the serial killer of the season, and I'll go into that in 1 second. But the point is, you had three killers you could have built the entirety of the series on. But they just went with the easy, oh, it's his brother. Boring. Let me get into Patrick Dempsey. Patrick Dempsey is a great actor. Not my favorite. And again, I know women love him from Grey's Anatomy, that show. You know, he's a doctor. As a man who's been to a lot of doctors and still goes to doctors and hospitals and ER and having test tubes shoved down my goddamn throat and in my nose, I don't watch things like that. I hate doctor shows because I go through that constantly already. So if I don't have to, hospitals don't have to exist. By all means, they don't exist in my head. But continue on. He is the big bad, which is sad because again, he should have been the one they've been building to, not the Ice Truck Killer. I mean, you could have hints of him in the shadows, have a kill here or there, make it like, oh, we know who that is, instead of just putting it blatantly in your face. But Patrick Dempsey's character, essentially, if I remember correctly, it's been like a couple months since I've seen the show. He's a police chief, detective, captain, whatever. And essentially, he does like a Walter White. He starts Breaking Bad because he sees all these killers and murderers slipping through the cracks. So he just takes matters into his own hands, essentially. Or he's like a kind of corrupt cop. His character could have been better. Let's just put it that way. His motives or whatever. So Dexter kills him. Spoiler: Dexter kills all the serial killers. Because throughout the series, Harry Morgan knows that Patrick Dempsey's doing all these crimes, but he wants to catch him legitimately. But at the end, Dexter kills him, and Harry Morgan thinks, "Oh, he just got away scot free. He got away innocently." And Dexter didn't tell him that he killed him. Which that's the one thing I did like, because Dexter still hides things from his dad, regardless of how much he loves and trusts him as a father figure, and someone who protects him essentially. He still hides things from him because he doesn't know if he will ever accept him for who he really is, which is like a serial killer. But they kill Patrick Dempsey off. He was cool. He was another one on the kill team. He was like yelling, "Oh, I hate you, Dexter. You're a monster, X, Y, and Z." He was a bad guy. I wish he needed more. And this show and series is known for killing off really good characters too early on. Because again, he should have been the main bad if they were going to continue the series. And another timeline, we would have got more Dexter Original Sin and no Dexter Resurrection. So I'm glad we got the Dexter Resurrection timeline and not the Dexter Original Sin timeline, because this shit would have killed off Dexter entirely. It was good, but it's not good enough to carry the Dexter monocle. As a one-off show or series, it's good. I mean, if you're a diehard fan, you would really, really enjoy it. But if you're just a casual, I do not recommend it. Just watch season 1 through 4 of Dexter, skip 5 through 8, and go right into New Blood and Resurrection, because you'll have a better time than this. But if you really, 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 really want to watch it, by all means, it's not bad. It's a good 8 hour watch. If you watch it at 2 point speed, you might be able to finish it faster. Or if you just want like a weekend, or like you want something to just have on the TV, it's a good background noise. But as a Dexter show, it's the weakest by all means. That's why I wanted to talk about this one first, because Dexter, the original series, Dexter New Blood, and Dexter Resurrection, I could talk about for a while, like way longer than this, because it has so much to go through. Even though New Blood and Resurrection are only one, well, New Blood's one season, and Resurrection is going to continue to season 2. Can't wait for that. The same with Yellow Jackets. Can't wait for more of that. But I just wanted to I wanted to start at the beginning, essentially. And again, this is the one I had the least to talk about. And again, I'm glad not to be mean, it got canceled, but I'm glad it happened because it brought back more interest in Dexter and wanted to see the series continue. And I'm glad for that, because Dexter's a fun show. It's probably the best thing Showtime's ever produced. That's why they keep continuing it. And fingers crossed for more of it. So hope you guys and gals enjoyed me rambling for about the amount of time I did for Dexter Original Sin. Hopefully you guys watch it. I got my neighbors being. I'll get into that some other time. Anyway, I'll finish this off by saying, watch it if you are interested. It's Halloween spooky season, and it's why not, right? Well, let's get into the epilogue of this video. So, thank you for the ranting and raving. If you guys want to stick around for the end of this video, please do. But guys and gals, if you don't, click off here and have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice evening. Have a nice year. Have a nice Christmas. Have a nice holiday. Love y'all, and thank you for watching and listening.
For making it this far into the video.
Hope you guys and gals enjoyed this Dexter Original Sin rambling. Hopefully the shuffling in my car and the audio, I know it sucks. I apologize. One day I'll have a better audio setup, because everything is pretty decent, but my audio. Till then, I'm just a cow on the moo. But I promise the audio will get better. But stay tuned for the Dexter Original Show review, the Dexter New Blood review, or not review, just rambling, and Dexter Resurrection video, plus a 50 sub special stream. Yes, thank y'all for the 50 subs. I love y'all. I genuinely appreciate it. It means a lot. If you would have told me I would have got 50 subs, I would have never believed anyone. I can't believe anyone wants to be around me, let alone listen to my nonsense. But I'm humbly and truly grateful for all y'all. Thank you for being in my life. Love y'all genuinely. But until then, stay tuned for more reviews and moves and Instagram reels, and got some Chantel content I want to make and some other stuff, and some live streams are coming up. But until then, take care and be safe.